All right, guys. Next, we wanted to bring in, there's actually so many developments with Governor Andrew Cuomo, who, of course, that bombshell Attorney General report came out last week about just how many women he had harassed and bullied and assaulted and abused during his time in office. One thing that just broke that we don't even have a tear sheet because it's so new is his top aide and advisor, Melissa DeRosa, who has been with him through thick and thin, who is implicated in some of the worst actions of, bullying and her own sort of harassment and covering up for the governor and trying to retaliate against at least one of the women and smear at least one of the women, Lindsey Boylan, who was accusing the governor of sexual harassment. So she has actually resigned and is apparently telling people she does not see a path forward for the governor to continue in office. Of course, Joe Biden finally called on him to resign. All of the New York Democrats have called on him to resign. So he really is left without almost any allies. So that's kind of the big development on the front with the governor. But we also have a media development here, which is Chris Cuomo, his brother, who happens to host a lowly rated, but still the highest rated at CNN show. So while all of this is happening last week, we tracked this really closely. Every other show on CNN, they basically led with the story of what's going on with the governor of New York, because this is a dramatic downfall, obviously incredibly consequential. He was completely silent, did not say one word about it. And now we're learning that, it just so happens it's his birthday week, so he's going to take the week off. So he's just going to skip town, and that way he'll be, out of the lawn and fire, not have to say anything. Here's the New York Times tear sheet. Chris Cuomo is taking a birthday week vacation as scrutiny on his brother increases. And there's another interesting nugget here, which is sort of funny. The way we found this out is apparently, I don't think anyone knew this, Chris Cuomo hosts a weekly podcast with Don Lemon called The Handoff that literally no one watches, I think. But on that podcast, he said that, he's taking the week off for his birthday, so that's how we know what is going on there. But I think it's clear that Zucker, the head of CNN, wants to stand by Chris Cuomo, likes this guy, wants to protect him, whatever. So he's just taking the week off and hoping that things sort of die down so people stop giving him a hard time for what is just an unbelievable breach of any sort of remote journalistic integrity that he pretends to have.
So I have a slightly different take on this. I think they're considering axing him this time. I really do. Because now he is a perpetual problem for them. I
don't know.
No, because how many times has Fox News done this where they say somebody's going on vacation and then that person never comes back from the vacation? I've seen it a number of times.
They didn't even punish him when this all came out. Because remember, this isn't just he was collaborating and advising his brother, which we learned in this report that that wasn't just a one-off. He was doing that on a regular basis, part of these political strategy calls. It wasn't just that. It was also that he got VIP treatment when he himself was worried about getting coronavirus at a time when, you remember, you live in New York. At the beginning of COVID, nobody could get tested. Like, you thought you had it and you weren't able to get a test. Well, this dude was getting VIP treatment from his brother. So he's implicated in that as well. And they didn't even punish him. He wasn't even taken off the air for 1 minute. So to do a total about face and then pull him off entirely when he's their highest rated anchor, I'm skeptical.
Well, last time, if you remember, he came out and did this thing where he was like, everybody knows I can't really comment on this because it's my brother. So just letting everybody know. I know what's going on with my brother, but I'm not going to comment on it because it's my brother. So he did that. But of course, when Andrew Cuomo was on and they were sucking him off all day and they were talking about how great he's doing with the coronavirus as people were dying in nursing homes nonstop. They could talk about him when it was positive, but all of a sudden when it's negative, oh my God, we can't talk about him anymore. But I'm telling you, the stuff has piled up enough where there's somebody, I don't know if it's Zucker, but there's somebody near the top of CNN who's like, I don't know about this, dog. We're really going to drag ourselves through the mud over and over again for this fucking meathead.
Well, you remember last time around, Jake Tapper actually got asked about it in an interview. I think it was with Mediaite, maybe? No, it was at the New York Times. Here, I have it. And he said that the whole thing put us in a bad spot and that I cannot imagine a world in which anybody in journalism thinks that was appropriate.
See, this is what I'm saying.
This was the last time around, but I don't know. I'm skeptical.
All I'm saying is they're considering it, Krystal. That's all I'm saying.
I definitely think they're hoping that it kind of dies down. He's able to be out for a week. The pressure is taken off because the sad fact of the matter is, like, do I think CNN's viewers are going to punish them for any of this? Not really. And so ultimately, that's all they really care about. He's still bringing in the ratings.
No. It's about the veneer.
It's not like advertisers are ditching him or anything like that. So I don't think they care that much.
They're considering it, because I'm telling you, it's about the veneer of seriousness and respectability. And as long as they can keep that veneer, they're happy. They're at the point now where ain't no fucking veneer left.
Yeah.
The veneer is crushed.
Completely. Of course, in my view, that's been for a long time.
Oh, no, me too, obviously. But,
it's
you know.
I mean, they're taking heat even from, mainstream outlets, the Washington
That's what I'm
Post,
saying,
the New York
exactly.
Times,
So they're
et cetera,
thinking about
it. It's just so shameless.
It's very possible that ultimately they're going to end up exactly where you're saying, which is like he comes back in a couple weeks and acts like, whoa, what are you talking? Nothing happened. I was just lifting weights for 2 weeks straight.
Right.
'Cause that's all I know how to do.
The Hamptons.
Yeah, exactly. Probably sneaking into Obama's birthday party or whatever. More on that later. The final point I wanted to make about at least Andrew Cuomo here is that I don't think he's going anywhere. I mean, it's possible that, let me be clear, it's possible that New York impeaches him, that they have the lawmakers to impeach him.
Yeah.
But homeboy's going out like Scarface. He's shooting in every direction.
He is
and
definitely not stepping down.
No, he's pulling a Ralph Northam. Remember the Ralph Northam scandal where he was caught doing blackface about 48 times?
Yeah.
And then he was like, I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. And everybody was like, all right, I guess he's not going anywhere. There was all this outrage, then it just died down when he was like, sort of fuck off. I'm going to do what I want.
You remember what happened there, though, which makes this a little bit different, is his thing came out that he had done blackface. And it was like everybody else had the lieutenant governor got accused of sexual assault. Remember? Justin Fairfax. The AG also, it came out, had done blackface or something like that.
Oh, there were
so the problem,
Blackface Wednesdays in Virginia.
So then the problem for Democrats was like, oh shit, well, if we're going to get rid of all these guys, then it's going to be Republicans in charge. So I guess we're just going to accept all of them and their blackface past and, potential harassment or assault or whatever. We'll just keep moving forward. Here, what's different is, within the New York Democratic Party, because it is effectively a one-party state, there's long been this divide.
Yeah, right. The more Bernie left.
This divide within the Democratic Party. And it's not even between like the Bernie left. And Cuomo was aligned with Republicans to keep giving Republicans control of the Senate. I mean, this guy has been a real enemy of anyone who is remotely progressive. What's really fascinating is the political story behind Letitia James, who's the Attorney General, who came up as like a sort of lefty working families party candidate. In order to become Attorney General, had to effectively renounce the Working Families Party and join up with Cuomo. And now that she's got a chance, she's sticking the knife in and she's really more responsible for his downfall than maybe anyone else. So you have this divide already in the Democratic Party, and you have most of the Democrats having, if not all of the Democrats having turned on him at this point, which means impeachment, I think, is fairly likely. And it looks like, public opinion has moved against him dramatically. We've got a poll we can throw up here. This is the latest from Quinnipiac that finds 7 out of 10 voters, let's say 7 out of 10 voters say Cuomo should resign. 55% think that Cuomo should be charged with a crime.
This is in New York, by the way, New York voters.
This is, exactly. And this is, a criminal complaint has been filed against him at this point.
In Albany, I believe, right?
He may well be charged with a crime. So he's definitely lost the public almost wholly and completely. He's lost the Democratic Party. He may not resign, but I'd be pretty surprised at this point if he's not impeached. And they seem like they're moving that impeachment investigation along very quickly.
His dodge is honestly hilarious. When he's like, I don't do sexual harassment and assault. I'm Italian.
It's just what I do it to everybody.
Here's a picture of me kissing Al Sharpton on the cheek. Here's a picture of, he showed this montage of him hugging people and touching their faces.
Grabbing Al Sharpton's breast?
Well, see, that's the point I was about to make, is that he likes to take the examples where it's like the weaker evidence and be like, I do this with everybody, I'm so handsy. And then you listen to the Attorney General in New York and they lay it out and they're like, he literally reached up a blouse and grabbed some titty.
Right.
He was grabbing women's asses on the regular. He would say things, when he's the boss, he would say things like, I'm so lonely and I want to be touched.
Ugh.
And, he was touching inappropriately a fucking state trooper.
Who
do you believe the balls to do something like that?
Who he made to be assigned to his detail. She didn't even technically have the qualification. She hadn't been in service long enough. And he's like, nope, I don't care. I want you on my detail.
That's right.
And then he is, just routinely touching her and making comments and asking if he can kiss her and all of this stuff that's so uncomfortable.
But I will say this, I would like to see him say something along the lines of, if he gets the boot, which he may in New York, say something along the lines of, have you heard of Tara Reid when it comes to Joe Biden? See, now it's open season because Biden said, you got to go. So he could turn around and be like, have you heard of Tara Reid, bitch?
Yeah.
There was a rape allegation. He could turn around to Trump and be like, this motherfucker's got at least a dozen women who are saying all sorts of shit about, why are they okay, but I'm not okay?
And I do want to say, there are a lot of people on the right who are, gleefully celebrating his downfall and like, oh, he's such a creep and he's such a pervert and all of that, which he is, but said none of that when it came to Trump.
That's what I'm saying. There's no like consistent standard, and that does drive me crazy.
Yes, indeed. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching.
That's right. Just as a reminder, you can become a premium subscriber today. Watch the full show completely uncut. Our reactions to each other's monologues. You get to listen to it. You get to ask us questions. All that good stuff. Link is right there in the description or at breakingpoints.com.
Best of all, great way to say screw you to the mainstream media.